Alrighty everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today I am going to be covering my power leveling slash reputation farming slash gold farming method. This works on all three of them pretty much simultaneously, but you can tweak it to specify whether you want to do gold or XP. Currently I feel XP is more useful up until you hit like 45 or so, when that's when you get the last of your skill levels, and then there aren't too many items that need a higher level than that at that point. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and cover it, and I've written this lovely document here so people could follow along and see basically what we're going to be doing. So first we're going to be grabbing the mercenaries. So I already have the 3 Bloodfang mercenaries. If you have summons, you could use summons as well. The best place to get them is if you head over to the Snake Village, or the Valley of the Snake. You will grab the blood bugs. The first one is going to be here, your second one is going to be here, and then your third one is going to be right down here. There's 2 additional ones down over near here as well if you just wanted to head straight down, but I found this and then I TP back as fast as. If you're not quite as high of a level, you can use the Bloodfang mercenaries. If you head outside of this village area, you head down into this corner by the prison outbreak. This is where you will find 3 Bloodfang mercenaries all close together. That's these 3 that I have currently, and that'll suffice as well. It just helps to speed things along and take some of the aggro off of you as you do this method. So that was first, grab the mercenaries. So next we're going to be doing this one, which is to equip the target relic. There's quite a few relics that we could have, so it just depends on which relic that you want to be farming with. You could just choose in which one. So for now I'm going to be showcasing the Town of Ruin, so make sure that you have that one going. The next thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that you're buying the raw meat from the butcher. So what we're going to basically be doing is we're going to be using these to summon bosses, and then we're going to be converting the items that we get into experience from that. And so we're going to need quite a few of this, so I will come back here in a moment. So first, we want to change our auxiliary settings. So you'll go here, you will simulate multiplayer difficulty, make sure you change this to 5. This is going to increase the enemy's HP. I'm not sure if it increases their attack or damage quite so much, but what it will do is it will change the drops that enemies do to simulate as if it was for a 5-person party. So basically you're going to be getting a whole lot more drops by changing this. The next thing that we want to be doing is we want to be setting up our salvage condition settings. So this is very important. Literally, I had this set up, and then the dev came and had changed it literally like an hour after I recorded this video. So I'm doing this once more. So what you're going to do is open up your item, your bag, you're going to open up your recycle tab, and then here you're going to go to condition settings. By default, it's going to say that this is going to be on gold, and this is going to be auto loot, and then after you change it, then it will continue to keep your settings, which is different because before it did not save it. So you had to redo everything every single time you wanted to turn on your auto loot settings. So make sure you turn it to XP if you're farming XP, and leave it on gold if you want to just quickly farm gold. But I'd say it's still better to just ferry it back and forth because you're only getting 50% of the value. So if you're going to pick up all the items and sell it for gold, I would do it and keep it this way and don't have it on, basically. Okay, so from here you're going to set up the conditional settings. This is how I have mine set up right now. I am in hard mode, so but for today's video I found it to be easier to farm while in the normal mode. So what this is basically saying, so if it is an A1 item and it is a red affix or a legendary affix, it's going to keep. If it does not meet that, then it is going to scrap it and convert it into XP. So for this method, all that you really need to do is make sure that you have everything in A1 selected, unless you wanted to keep these 2 items, and then that you toggle on your A1 for the legendaries, because that's where we're going to be gaining the most of our XP from. So from here you hit save and apply, you could close these out, and then now we're ready to begin going to our farm location. But first let me talk about how much we're going to need. So if you look here, it requires 20,000 reputation in order to um, buy the relics from each of the different villages. There are 4 villages currently, so we need a whole lot of meat. 25 meat equals 1 summon, so you need 250 meat for a 10 times summon. I wrote it down here just so you could see. Per village, you're going to need 500,000 raw meat, which is the equivalent to 10 million gold. I'd say most people will probably be about 2 or 3 million gold by the time they are considered, okay, maybe I should find a more optimal route for farming. This is specifically when they hit level 30. That's when it becomes a little bit more difficult to level. And so when you're doing this leveling method, you will gain roughly 2.5 to 3.3 times whatever your initial gold was spent. So if I spent 100,000, I would end up with 250,000 to 330,000 by the end, basically. And most of that is going to come from selling your pots at the end, the extra pots that you are gathering. So now we're going to go to the farm method. What you're going to do is head out of the village, and it's going to be this first location right here. This is going to be your main summon location. If you do this for quite a while, you'll get a whole bunch of wolf fur and deer hides. And you could go to the other two locations, which is you teleport to the northern waste, and then you basically head west from there, or you teleport to the orc woods, and then you head like northeast from there. Those are going to be your two main ones. So if you look here, you can see when they do get the kills, like it is increasing the kill count, and these bosses are counting as 2. So it'll be even less than that 500,000 meat, just especially if you already have some. So what we're going to basically be doing is clicking here, and we're going to be summoning 10 times, and we're just going to be spamming this over and over and over as fast as we can. The other thing that I'd recommend is if you go to your main settings, make sure that you toggle off all of these values. I forgot to write it down, but this will help with visibility and being able to click and do these. And then the one other final thing to note is you just basically want to be spamming your collect button, which is F by default, because if you don't, the items will start piling up in this nice little diamond shape, but you'll have to move around and try to grab it. So I'm just going to be somewhat nearby just so I'm not immediately on top of this. And then I have, 25k almost, so I'll be able to do this like 100 times or so before I'm out of meat. So basically I'm just going to go ahead and hit summon. If you look over here, I'll just put this over here so you can watch and see. This is basically going up as I'm doing this, and so I'm just basically spamming my button. I'm using an AoE spell, I'm not moving. If you're like a warrior or something, you have to like flit around. It's a little bit harder. And then as you can see right here, my XP is at 42%, and you can see all of the different XP values that I'm getting. You see a couple of like 1,000 or 250. That is the legendary items that I'm picking up and scrapping it for gold. So as you can see, this has been like 30 seconds. I've already gained like a 1.5%, and I've already gained, I don't even know how much, but quite a bit of this Town of Ruin. And then you'll get even more if you get any codex entries. If it is a duplicate codex entry for these bosses, it will give you 10 reputation per codex entrance that you get. So I'd also recommend that you have at least 10 luck, because that'll help a little bit with your drop rates, even though it's not primarily your main source. And then just making sure that you have your talismans set up properly, that they are the XP or the drop rate talismans, depending on whether you also want to farm XP as you're doing this. Let's see, if we go here, we can see my drop rate is currently 39%, elite drop rate is 16%, extra XP percentage is 38%. And so you could really like spam this a whole lot if you wanted to. Just make sure you keep hitting the F button as you're trying to click this, and that will allow you to be able to hit the top edge of this a little bit more easily. And so yeah, so you can see it's fairly successful. It's already at like at least 500 or 600 in whatever the minute and a half I've been doing this. I've already gained like 7 or 8% doing this. So this is by far the fastest method I have found for leveling, fastest method for gaining gold, the fastest method for gaining reputation. When I was doing this, I had a little bit lower XP percentage, my damage wasn't quite as high, it was a little bit slower in doing this, but I was easily gaining 2 or 3 levels every like 30 minutes and like, I don't know, 3 to 4 million gold during that time frame. So yeah, it's pretty good method, so hopefully this helps you guys. We're just going to let this finish off the rest of the enemies, and I'm just going to check my gold at the end after selling it. You could kind of see, so we went up like 200k gold just off of that. I have all of these items which I could sell, but basically this is a really good way of getting initial luck, because what they will mostly drop is they'll drop luck, they'll drop freeze +2, they'll drop lightning +2, and those are going to be the main 3 that drop from here. They will also drop items such as these, which are your legendary modifiers. So this is a great way of getting a whole bunch of legendary modifiers all at once. Is all of these items are going to be, basically the non-perfects are going to be your legendary modifiers. But just go and double check, make sure, because sometimes it'll still have like additional modifiers on here. There isn't a good way of like showing that visibly for now. But anyways, if we go back, I have 3 and 1. If I were to use them, it should increase my reputation by 40, but unfortunately it'll only be in the original area that you found them. So if I use them, as you can see, it's going up by 10, but it's only going up in the original. So once you hit that 20k, then it's best just to sell them for a little bit of gold. And then as you can see here, basically 400k. If I just put in all of the pots that I gained, um, another 145,000. So that was like 2 minutes, and that was like 400,000 gold, basically off of that. So very efficient. Then if I wanted to, again, you could set this to be recycled into gold instead of XP. If you really wanted to farm gold, this is the way that you would do it, and you'd basically recoup the gold cost that you would have spent in buying the meat in the first place. So that's it. Hopefully this helps, and I will look forward to seeing you all in the next video.